James.
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
What's going on? Talk to me, man. How you been feeling over the past week?
Um, I'm okay. I feel like a lot of my emotions are like kind of like I'm more like how do I say it? I feel like not intense, but I'm triggered a lot.
Ah, okay. So not intense, but triggered a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. I feel like I'm triggered a lot of things.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's take a step back for a minute because you got me curious. When you
Yeah.
say not intense, walk me through that. Like, what was intense before that's not so intense now?
Oh, so I think what I'm saying is that like the intensity is not as like powerful as last time, meaning it's not as harsh or hard or strong. If I would say it from like to 10, it would be like, I would say like maybe like a 5 or a 6, half of that. But then I'm just kind of like triggered and I'm more sensitive.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that now it's like a 5 or 6 before
Yeah.
we were working together. What was it before?
Well, I think it was like hard. Like I was really emotional. Yeah, it was really kind of like, when I say intense, I would say like, it would be like a 10,
Oh,
right?
so
Yeah. And now it would have been like a 5 or a 6. Like I could actually get up and, do things. So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So the one time that we met, you're saying that you're able to reduce that intensity by 40 to 50%.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, about 50%. But I'm more like triggered faster, you know?
Give me an example of something that triggers you faster.
Like one day I after the gym I just went for a walk. Oh, actually, yeah, like a couple of days ago, I did my cardio in the morning, and usually after cardio, that's the time that I would call my mom, right? And yeah, like it was just kind of like I just started crying,
Hmm. Okay.
right? Like I just started crying because that was supposed to be the time that I would be calling her, but obviously she's not around. So it was kind of like, okay, so I just started crying and I just let it out. I just let it out. Yeah, and I had like a little confrontation at work, with one of my coworkers.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and I was just really sensitive, like about the whole thing. Like, it felt so raw, but it's really nothing,
Got it. Got it.
right? Like, and yeah, so I've had a lot of like moments where it just kind of came out of nowhere,
Right.
things that I would usually do. Yeah, and I would just start crying. Yeah, and I would just let it out.
Okay. Okay. So basically what you're saying is just so I understand. You're
Mm,
saying that the intensity overall is less compared
mm,
to before we first started.
yeah,
However, there's still a lot of triggers that you experience where, you'll have memories of your mom. I guess it all pertains to your mom and
yeah,
anything revolving around the things you used to do for your mom, with your mom.
hmm,
Now
hmm,
that they're not there, it's like if you're reminded of that, there's a pain that happens.
yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
now,
That's good. Yeah, and
okay.
I feel like, yeah, like that's exactly it. Like I think in layman terms, I would, um, yeah, just a lot. Like I'm more sensitive than ever, and yeah, a lot of things just triggers me, right? Because even before, maybe I don't know, like I was dealing with a lot of emotions, and maybe I would have this defense mechanism of not to feel it or whatever it is. But
Of not.
now I just kind of like let it feel, and
Mm,
yeah, it just happens, right?
got it. Okay. Okay, can you give me another example of something that makes you sensitive?
Yeah,
from one
like
to
for
another?
example, yeah, like like the last 3 days, I was taking a class at work,
Okay.
and usually after my class, I would always call my mom. I said, "Hey, like I've taken this class. It's so amazing, and I got my certificate yesterday for this special class for this academy."
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even get to share with her." Like it's just that moment that it's just not. Yeah, it's just weird. Like it feels weird to me. It feels like you know I don't have anybody to share it with, especially her. Although I was joyful, I was happy, but yet there was a lot of sadness that comes with it.
I understand that big time.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Cool. Cool in the sense that I'm really glad that you're so clear on
Mhm.
what's bothering you,
Yeah.
because that makes my job so much easier, brother.
Hmm.
Hey, James, I
Yeah,
just,
and it's just like, and I
yeah,
think also too, like I don't know what it is. Like I'm also very antisocial. Like I'm really antisocial. I don't want to be around with people. I do the best that I could. Obviously I work with people all the time, right?
Mhm.
That's fine. I like it,
Yeah,
right? I've noticed that, like, I really enjoy being with my clients, with my some of my coworkers, right? um but there are some things that are like my friends wants to take me out, they want to go see me. I said no, I'm just not ready. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do anything, actually. I just want to be at home. I just want to do the very bare minimum of what's expected of me. Like I need to go to the gym because it makes me happy. I need to get my nails done today because it needs to be done. Yeah, I need to do my laundry because that has to be done. But any other extracurricular activities, I'm just not into it.
is that normal?
No,
Okay. Okay.
no, that's not normal at all because I'm very sociable. I have a really good circle of friends, right? I have big family, even my family, like during um Thanksgiving dinner, I didn't even go. Like they
Right,
invited
right.
me. I just didn't want to go. I don't feel like I want to be surrounded by their presence. I think part of it is like my first Thanksgiving without my mother. So I don't know how I would feel about it. So it's almost like that fear of going there, of fear of the unknown, right? So that's one. I'm becoming really antisocial. And I just feel like, and I don't want to open up to a lot of people. Like I just, like I'm so close. Part of it, like people want to ask me a lot of questions. I have this coworker who wants to get in deeper with my life, and I kind of like just want to tell her, like, no, I only want to talk about it, right? And she's my friend, right? So it's hard for me to, put that boundaries around. Um, yeah,
I get
like,
that. I totally get that.
mm,
You know what I'm getting?
mm,
What? Okay, so I've dealt with other people who've lost a family member, including myself. I had to go through
uh-huh,
it too, right? What I've learned is that when we're social people, like our energy is like this, and we
mm-hmm,
got so much energy, we just want to share it with everybody, right?
mm-hmm,
When we go through a loss, that energy gets drained. So
mm-hmm,
even though we did the work to help you, you're still at a lower energy vibration,
mm-hmm,
energy amount than your normal self, because the constant thought of mom's not here anymore. I can't
mm-hmm,
share these experiences. I can't call her. Like there's a loss in there, right?
mm-hmm,
So when your energy is this low, to go out and talk to people, you have to have lots of energy because we're giving energy and then we're getting it back. But if you're
yeah,
like this, it's like, man, the brain goes on reserve. It's like, I don't want to share my energy. I barely
mm-hmm,
got enough for me right now.
mm-hmm,
So it
yeah.
makes a lot of sense that you're not feeling very social right now because
Mm-hmm.
your energy is like down here. I mean, there's moments, of course, it goes up, but like for all the years I've ever known of you, you've always been like this guy. The
Mm-hmm.
energy's always been like this person
Yeah,
up here.
yeah,
So it's natural that now that mom's not here, that it's here.
yeah,
And you got to reserve that because you got to
yeah.
get your day. You still got shit to do. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, gym, nails, all the stuff that's important to you, that's still
Mm-hmm.
energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's totally understandable. I got a question for you. Based on what you're going through right now, what would be your preferred goal? Just like last time, if we're living in James' world right now, and you could do like, anything can happen for you. Okay, fuck reality for a minute. and just tell yourself, like, if I had my perfect world, like anything went my way, how would you want to feel? How would you want to view your current situation about your mom and yourself?
Um, I I think right now, obviously, I can change, the situation with my mom. But I think for me, what I would like to have happened, or to get out of this, is that to be like be more less sensitive. That's number one.
Okay.
And number two, I'd like to have a little bit of like enthusiasm in my life, because right now I don't have that. I just feel like I'm just like, you're right, like I'm low energy. I don't have a lot of passion. I don't have a lot of enthusiasm or enthusiastic ability in my life. So I want to get back a little bit of that,
Mhm.
or excitement. I guess that's a lack of better word. I need some sort of like feeling excitement, right? I'm just not that. And also, I feel like I want to get some, like, okay, if I'm triggered to something, whether I feel emotional, angry, or sad, or whatever it is, that I have some sort of tools that will help me, guide me, or that will remind me that said, okay, this is just a fleeting feeling. It will go away. You'll be okay. Whatever it is, that I need some sort of a skill, some sort of like, a little talk. Like I don't know what it is, right? Because for the
Right.
most part, I'm like in my head all the time, and I
Right.
like it's totally not even that important in my head.
Right. Right. Okay. So you want to feel some excitement again. You want to feel some enthusiasm. You don't want to be so much in your head. You want a
Hmm.
tool that
Yeah,
helps you get out of this. That's just perfect because that's what I'm here for.
yeah.
So let me roll back a step with you because I just want to make sure I'm fully clear about you. Okay. The Please do me a favor and just explain to me
Yeah.
when it came to your mom. Was your mom like a major part of your life before she got ill? Or did she become that major part of your life during the time she got ill?
No, she was always been, she was my most important person in the world for me. She was my queen. I have a really good relationship with her. Out of eight kids, I was basically the seventh out of eight, and I took good care of her at the very end. I was, like, now, even talking about it, when she was at the hospital for 2 weeks, the first week I had a great moments with her, several moments with her. One of the great moments with her is that she was lying in the hospital, and my partner was on the other side, and my brothers and sisters were around her. And when that happens, I usually just go kind of fade out in the background, because I want to give them their moments, right? Because I have so many great moments with my mom all the time. Like, just imagine this: my mom doesn't go out. She only goes out either on a Monday or a Tuesday, because those are my days off, when she has an appointment. And she usually, not usually, is always with me when I'm away, unless my brother will take her. He would be the proxy, but it would always be me. So she always looked forward of seeing on that week, because it was like our bond, but it was also for her to get out of the house. She doesn't drive. She doesn't want to take the bus, right? So she always waited for me for the whole week. And she always felt really safe with me in a ways, because I took good care of all her situation, from banking, finance, to her healthcare, to any of her logistics. Like, I took good care of it, right? Until the very end. So one of those moments that I had with her during at the hospital is that she asked me, to lie in her bosom right here, and she's just kind of petting me for like at least a good 5-10 minutes, and she keeps saying, my baby boy, my baby boy. And I knew at that moment that medically she was just gonna go, right? And I had to really bask it on those moments with her, because I knew that that was gonna be the last time that I will have that moment with her. Then I stood up, right? And she hold, Steve's hand on the other side, and my brothers and sisters were there. And I went back to my seat, which is at the very foot of the hospital bed. And then she said, in front of everybody, she said, Steve, take good care of him, please. And Steve was like, of course, I will take good care of him, Alicia. He's like, Steve, he is my protector. he said to me in broken English, right? And I even said to her, I said, Mom, it's okay. You can speak Bisaya if you want to, right? But she spoke, in English. She's like, Steve, right? She's like, if it's not because of him, I would have stopped breathing a long time ago. Because I really advocate for her. Like really elongate her life because I like just run around doctors, all of this clinic to make sure that she wants, she can live because she always wanted to live and I wanted to honor that. And then she said to me, she's like, Steve, he is my eyes, he is my ears, he is my heart. He is my mouth because he even speaks for me. Because when we go to every appointments, I speak for her. She doesn't even speak, right? And then of course Steve made a joke, was like, well, you know how his mouth is. It runs from 100 to 1,000 in 1 second. So there was a laugh about it, right? And I just thought that was very interesting because she said that in front of my brothers and sisters, and I did not need that validation from my mom. I knew, I'm confident what I did or what I have done for my mother. But what I'm trying to say is that I did not need that kind of um validation from my mother because it was an honor and a privilege to serve her. It really was, and that makes me so cry to even say that because she was such a big part of my life. You know, she was a person that she wouldn't really necessarily say, "Hey, son, I love you. Hey, son, I'm very proud of you." She would just smile at me. She just knew, she just knew that she was happy for me, right? She wasn't vocal. She wasn't that kind of a person that she would tell you how she feels. My mother is one of those people that when you talk to her and you ask her questions, that's when you actually know who she is, because she
Mm.
never ever tell you who she is or how she's feeling, right? But I get her, right? A lot of that. So yeah, that's the kind of relationship that I have with her. Um, I think that sense of support. I think being, just really like my number one part of my life. Like, when I was 16 years old, and I even talk about this in my eulogy at the church, right? At 16 years old, it was a pivotal moment in my life when I told her about my sexuality. She looked at me and she said, "Son, I know." And I think that was so important for a kid, for a 16-year-old kid, to feel love, but not just love. Also, she was a beacon of acceptance in my family, that it doesn't matter who I am, and that just really allowed me to grow and prosper into the person that I am, because that love from coming from her was so special, was so different, that I wish that other my gay friends would have that, because they don't have that kind of acceptance from their family. So yeah, that was the kind of person she was to me, right? You know, she wasn't like, I've always been like financially independent when at the age of 18, right? So of all my brothers and sisters, I wasn't the one that like, "Hey mom, can I borrow money?" or this and that. Like, in fact, I was the one that was giving her money to buy her stuff, right? And she loves that about me, because I was always been so independent in so many ways, but emotionally, she won't tell me that, she loves me and all of that, but she was always there. I always knew it was that silent love from one another. So that's the kind of person that she was. Like, every day I would talk to her, nothing. The conversation is not even that important, but it was just that connection, right? I'm getting my nails done every 3 weeks because of her, because of the fact that she hates having going chemo, and I wanted to make sure that she was happy going to chemo, and it made her happy. So yeah, that's just kind of the overview of the kind of relationship I have with her, and it's just
Mm.
hard to see. And I think that's what I want to learn, is I want to learn to live my life not having her around, right? Because with all of that, there's just so many emotions. I'm triggered. I'm in my head, and I just feel down in a lot of times, right? To think about it.
I
Yeah.
understand. I totally understand, James. Man, I love talking to you, and I can't believe that it took like something so severe like this for me to learn about you.
Yeah.
I value so much about what you're saying about your mom because
Mm,
like now that my dad's passed away,
mm.
I'm closer to my mom. I'm more patient with her. I
Yeah.
value her more
Yeah.
because she's all I got for
Mhm.
parents, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the way that you expressed about your mom, like I get these flashes in my head of
Mhm.
how, it just makes me want to do more for my mom because
Yeah.
you obviously had such a tight bond with her. That's beautiful,
Yeah.
man. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I get why you're so confident. You were rooted in a foundation of
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Like, as guys, they don't always express this. A lot of guys don't
Mhm.
even get it. But
Yeah.
when you get it and when you experience it and when you have
Yeah.
that at such a young age, like no
Mhm.
wonder why your balls are so big, man. No wonder why
Yeah.
you're so confident. Like it all sums up who the hell you are. Like I get
Mhm.
it now. Like your mom
Um,
did a tremendous job of helping you feel so full.
you know my name Valiant, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's funny because I have three brothers. I also named Jameses.
Oh
So
wow.
Valiant is actually my middle name, right? So
Oh.
I'm James Valiant, and then I have a last name, but I don't use my last name because I love Valiant, right? And then I have another brother. His name is James Ryan, right? So you know how Filipinos are. They have first name, middle name. It's like blah blah blah, right? So that's really is my middle name, James Valiant, right?
Ah.
And she always says to me, Valiant. She always reminds me whenever I'm down, whenever I'm like have a challenge in life or whatever it is, you know, she always says to me, I did not name you Valiant for nothing. You need to go out there because you are a brave young man. And he always instills that in me, reminded me all the time the importance of my name. And yeah, like my brothers and sisters knows that because that's my name, James Valiant. But yeah, not a lot of people know that. They think it's my last name. It's actually my middle name that my mom named me because she's like, no, I'm gonna name you Valiant because that's who you are.
That's beautiful.
Very, very interesting fact.
That's super interesting,
Yeah.
man. I had no idea about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Valiant's full name. No
Yeah.
wonder. I was like,
Yeah, that's really is my name. That's on my passport. That's on my legal papers. Yeah, that's really in my name. Yeah,
that's crazy, man. I was trying to figure out. I was like, Filipino name. Is that a Valiant?
that's
That's
right. Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
different. Wow.
yeah,
I love that story.
yeah.
I love that story.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, you're welcome. You,
Mhm.
you gave me a lot of detail about your mom and about your situation, and I understand why you feel so sensitive these days.
Yeah.
I want to offer you something today that's different from what I had planned. But for me to offer it to you, I got to explain how it works first. And
Sure.
then you decide to me if this is something that you're open to. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of telling you detail, I'm going to share a quick story.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's about how I transitioned regarding my dad. When my dad was passing away, he had about a year and a half of just depleting. And the first year, I was fine. The last half of the year, like I could really see him changing, and it started to hit me. It started to hit me because all of a sudden my brain started going into these thoughts of like, I wanted more time with him. I didn't get to know him well enough. There's more about him I need to understand. I'm not ready to let him go. And when it came down to the last few weeks, when he was literally like a vegetable because they had to pump him with drugs because the cancer was hurting him so badly, there was so much pain. I literally went into this mental freeze where I was short tempered. I couldn't sleep properly. I was contemplating on shutting everything down, all my businesses. Not that I have that many, but I've got a couple, and just having just not. I wasn't even thinking about replacing them, like having somebody run them for me. I couldn't function. I'd be staring at a wall for like 20 minutes before starting my fitness classes in Richmond, and
Hmm.
my assistant instructor was like, "Hey man, are you here? Are you okay?" And I'd have to apologize because I told him like I can't focus on anything until. So what happened is Helen, she said, "Hey, we've been learning this additional skill set. Why don't we try it on you today?" And this was November the 15th. And I was like, "Okay, let's give it a shot." And so what I had to do is I had to create. You remember what we talked about last time? Conscious is very literal. It's practical.
Hmm.
Subconscious is like a kid. It's all make believe, but that's how
Hmm.
it functions, right? So I told Helen, she was like, what would you want to believe? Like, because right now, what you're telling me, Alan, is that you're hurting because you know your dad's passing away. To me, passing away meant he's not going to be with me anymore. I can't call him. I can't message him. I can't have dinner with him and have him give me shit about something I did, 30 years ago. Like, that's how my dad was, right? So I told her, I said, I'm going to miss him. And she said, well, what if you could create a way, excuse me, what if you could create a way where you didn't have to miss him? And long story short of that is we discovered through the training that the subconscious can create a realistic feeling that someone that's gone isn't fully gone. If you believe in spirit, if you believe in ghosts, the connection is physically they're gone, but spiritually they're still with you.
Yeah.
But obviously that has to be created into some sort of visualization. Like, yeah, you got to visualize that, right? So she asked me, she's like, if you could imagine your dad still being with you, how would you do that? And there's no limitation. Like, don't make it reality, because that's not the way this works. There has to be like some super fantasy thing. And I told her, I said, I would feel good if I could just imagine my dad on the day he passes away. Two angels are grabbing him by the shoulder. They're lifting him up, and he's shoveling ube down his face because he loved to eat. The man fucking loved to eat all the time. And I told her, if I could imagine my dad and see that image and just know that he's like there, like he's not gone, he's just there. And I could just see it as if it was actually happening. If I could have that, then I'd never feel like he's fully gone. And so she said, okay, let's piece this together. There's an equation to create that process, and that's what she did. This one requires going into hypnosis. Real quick, hypnosis is where you're awake, but you're in deep relaxation. It's like meditation, but you kind of feel a little sleepy. The practitioner is not in control of you. You are fully in control. You hear everything. You can still like function. You can still respond. You just feel really it's almost like, when you're like about to fall asleep, but you don't. You're just kind of like in that gray line. You're feeling really relaxed, really comfortable. It's like that, but you can still hear everything. So she put me into that phase. It's called trance. And when I woke up from it, at the end, she goes, 3, 2, 1. Okay, just come back to the room. So I opened my eyes, and she's like, how do you feel? James, no exaggeration, no bullshit. I wish we recorded it, but we didn't. I literally woke up from that, and I'm like, I'm not hurting. And I was in shock. I was like, I'm not hurting. She's like, well, what do you feel? And I said, I feel peace. I feel like, oh, there's Dad stuffing his face with pie, and he's just going up, and there's 2 angels holding him. Like, I see this every single freaking day.
Wow.
And it feels so crazy because I know it's like, some people will be like, oh, it's bullshit, make believe. Hey, man, if it gets you out of pain, it gets you out of pain. It doesn't matter how it works, right?
That's right. Yeah.
If you're open to trying that today, I would be happy to provide that for you.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So first thing, all I got to do is just ask you a couple of questions. But again, keep it like, don't hold yourself back. Let your brain go wild. Okay. So whatever you say is right. The biggest pain that you have right now is knowing that Mom's not there physically. How would you want to imagine her so your mind could believe that either her spirit or a part of her or the essence of her energy, whatever you want to call it, is still with you whenever you need her? What would you want to see, or when you close your eyes and think about her?
I think I just see her smile, basically looking at me, and it's just kind of that in the background. I know physically she's not there, but yeah, I just see her like in my thoughts, like all around, smiling at me.
I like that. When you see her smiling at you, do me a favor, do this now and just imagine this in your head. Is there a particular location that you see her in?
No location, just up above, looking at me.
Okay. So
Yeah.
she's up above. Like, do you see all white around her? Just to
Yeah,
clear.
just her smiling at me. She's wearing this like shirt that I bought her. It's
Oh,
this kind of like a orangey plaid shirt, right? It has a really good photo of it actually in my house. And yeah, she's just her smiling, wearing that.
nice. Wearing the orangey plaid shirt that you bought
Yeah.
her. Do you imagine what her hair might look like in that image?
Yeah. It's all white. It's pixie cut.
So she's got all white hair.
Yeah.
And you said what after? What was it?
Pixie cut. It's like a short haircut.
Oh, pixie cut. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Pixie cut. Nice. Could you imagine what she might be wearing aside the plaid shirt? Is there anything else?
No.
No? Okay, plaid shirt. So you see her smiling at you. She's wearing the orangey plaid shirt that you bought for her. She's got all white hair with a pixie cut.
Yeah.
Very nice. Do you imagine her holding anything?
No.
No? Okay. Do you imagine anybody around her? Are there like angels, other relatives, friends, anyone?
No. Just her.
No, just her. Okay. Do you imagine her saying something to you?
No. She just smile.
Okay. Okay.
No. Just smiling.
When you think about her smile, everybody has different times where they remember like one smile that really got to them the most.
Mm-hmm.
When you imagine her up there smiling at you, does it resemble an experience that you had with her where she smiled at you in a similar way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, when she smiles like that, I know that she's happy. I know that she's content. I know that she's not in pain. And I know that she's thankful.
Nice. Happy.
Yeah, she's happy, grateful. She's not in pain. Yeah, she's content.
I like that. I like that a lot. Very cool. She's happy, content, grateful, and she's not in pain. Good.
Correct.
Good. Now you said that she was up above. Is that like in your mind, is that how you would say it? Or would you call it heaven? Or would you just say up above or something
No,
else?
she's not even in heaven. She's just up above around me. Like
Ah,
probably
okay.
like a feet away from my head, just
Oh,
looking. Yeah. It's almost like
nice. So it's just up above. So just a foot
yeah.
away from your head. I like that. Good. 1 foot away from your head. Okay. Okay, cool. James, is this something that you're willing to try today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any part of you that feels resistant to this?
No,
No? Okay, cool. So you ready to get started?
I am. I'm in the
Perfect.
most comfortable position. So yeah.
Okay, James. So for this one, it's going to start. What we're going to do is I'm going to have you start with just looking at your hand about 6 inches away. Okay. And as you're looking at your hand, please take a deep, deep breath and just do that a few times. So that way it helps with lowering the speed of your heart rate. We're going to get you to lower the speed of your heart rate because it helps with increasing the speed to transition into this exercise. Yeah.
Mhm.
If you can still hear my voice, go ahead and nod your head, please. Very good. Very good. When I count to 3, you will slowly come back to the room. 1, Notice your feelings in your fingers and toes. 2, notice the sound of my voice and the room that you're in. 3, feeling alive, awake, feeling really good. Begin to open your eyes. Welcome back, buddy.
Wow.
How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. What do you remember from
Relaxed.
You feel relaxed?
I just listened to your voice, but I felt like my body was really relaxed.
Mm,
You know?
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you remember from my voice? What do you remember me saying?
You were talking about go 10 times deeper, relax, talking about my mom, how she's looking at me, smiling, wearing the clothes that she was wearing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that was good. That was amazing.
Have you ever had this experience before?
Never.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel very honored that I get to be the first one.
Yeah. No, never. What was the goal of that? Like when you are so like relaxed and deeper.
So the relaxation allows you to get out of thinking and it
Uh-huh.
allows you to get into the habits, which is in your subconscious. The past habit you had was think of mom, feel pain, think of mom, feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
By allowing you to relax, it allowed me a chance to go in here and
Mm-hmm.
basically just repeat to your subconscious what you told
Mm-hmm.
me.
Right, right.
Yeah. So now what should happen is you should have an ability to think about your mom and just
Mm-hmm.
notice that your reaction to thinking about her feels different.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right because I think it's now when I think about it, yeah, all I can think of is like her smiling at me.
How does that make you feel?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
happy.
how is that different from 30 minutes ago when you think about your mom?
Light. I feel light. Yeah, I feel light because I think before when I thought of her, I thought of like the things that I've missed of her. But now when I think of her, I just think of her like she's smiling at me, right? That's just my happy moments when I see her, right? When she's
Mm-hmm.
always smiling. Yeah, she always have a
Mm-hmm.
smirk on her face, right? I know that
Mm.
she's happy. So
Mm.
yeah.
James, do you realize that as of right now, you've got a little smirk on your face?
I do because yeah, it just kind of changed. It just changed the dynamic of my thoughts, right? I was just
Yeah.
thinking about that. Like I'm emotional
Mm-hmm.
because I just knew that she's smiling at me. You know, I'm emotional because that's usually the time or the emotions I have when I see her every Monday or Tuesday. Right? Is that
Nice.
she always go like this? She's a beautiful teeth. It's
Yeah.
it's denture, but she always smiles and she always like and I know that she's just happy to see me. So yeah,
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. As you explain this, man, your feelings are just like,
yeah, I feel it too.
woo.
So you're saying that like it's about accessing like not so much here because this is the thought that we have, right?
Right.
So it's about here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Which is cool because now you're not even trying to feel good when you
No,
think about your mom. It's just
no.
naturally happening.
So this is the conscious mind and this is the unconscious mind.
Correct.
And what's really the difference in those two? I like that.
Conscious is thinking in real time.
Uh-huh.
Unconscious is habit. What comes out of you on autopilot. So, for example, when you're thinking about your mom before, sadness came out, missing her came out. You didn't have to try.
Right.
But now you think about your mom, like really imagine your mom right now. And what
Mm-hmm.
comes out of you?
Her smiling up
Which
above.
make which makes you feel what?
Happy.
Yeah.
Light. Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, where's all that pain that you said you were having earlier?
Um, Not so much pain. It's more of like it's the joy of thinking that she's smiling. That's the kind of pain that I have. Like It's not pain, but it's a different pain. Yeah.
It's a
So
different pain.
yeah,
Describe this different pain to me now.
it's a different pain because I feel like before it was like a pain of missing her, a pain of not being her, but now it's just a pain of like it's just thinking that yes, she's not here, but yeah, I like she's smiling at me, and it's almost like give me that sense of I don't know, like it's different. It feels different, right?
You were about to get on something, and I like that. It gives you
Yeah,
a sense of what?
yeah. It's like what's the word? Not it's I can't even think of the word, but yeah, it just feels different to me,
Mm.
when I think of her. So
So when you think of her and you have this vision that she's smiling down at you,
mhm.
obviously there's an emotion that comes through you.
Yeah.
How would you describe that feeling or emotion?
Um, that emotion to me, I just felt content. I feel happy. I feel light. Um, yeah, that's
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay. Very nice.
yeah.
So do me a favor. Do me a favor. I want you to imagine when you go back to work,
Mm.
somebody that you know over there is probably going to say again, "Hey, what's going on with you? Want to know, like, how's that? How's you and your mom? Like, how you feel about that?" Imagine going into that future scenario, and what do you think is going to come out of you then?
Well, actually, it's not even that. After this, I'm gonna get my nails done, and
Ooh,
usually I'm gonna get my nails done with her.
oh,
But yeah, so yeah, I'm smiling actually. I'm gonna get my nails done. I'm excited to get my nails done because I know she's smiling at me. Yeah. So
isn't that beautiful? How
yeah,
all you got to do is think about it, and she's like right
yeah,
there.
she's right there. Yeah, that's I'm not imagining things. I'm just like she's just there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was very emotional about that. So that's kind of what stuck in my head because I think that
Wow.
wherever I am, she's always smiling at me.
Yeah. Yeah. Is
So
that something that you feel now?
yes, I do.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
certainly I do. Yeah. So
Amazing.
because I've been to one medium before.
Mm-hmm.
She was really good 10 years ago. She's a psychic and a medium. It's funny though because what really stuck in my head about this particular psychic because it was through a coworker. I went to her house. I didn't know like she didn't know who I was. She said to me, she's like, "Are you working today?" I said, "No, I'm off today." She's like, "Are you a hairdresser?" I'm like, I didn't even tell her that what I was. I just called her to book an appointment. Right, this was 10 years ago, and then what really stuck with me with that conversation is that she said to me, she's like, you should be a colorist because that's where the money is at for you. You'd really excel as a colorist as opposed to a stylist. And I thought to my head at that time, 10 years ago, I'm like, bitch, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, you know, because I'm like, no, I will never be a colorist, right? But it's funny because starting in January, I will be taking color, right?
Hmm.
Because I've been doing hairdressing now for like 18 years. So I thought to myself, okay, I needed new skill. I needed the new relevance into my industry. I've been doing hair cutting, hairstyling for 18 years. I need new skill to my career, and that will
Right.
elevate me. New skill means more money, right? For me. So yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh, you know what? That's perfect because my mom is not here. I could do Monday, Tuesday, for my training, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So that lady, she like basically projected that because once I put my head into it, I'm gonna go around it. So I'm gonna do that. So I thought that was very interesting because that was 10 years ago. And then she started talking about guardian angels behind me that's always looking for me and blah blah blah. But I kind of toned her out at that time because I was so immature, right? But I believe that because there's so many things that happens in my life that I will always just say things are gonna be good or things are gonna be lining up my way, and it's really is happening into my own advantage, right? So just
Right.
shit like that. That's like
Yeah.
little things.
Yeah.
So I thought she was really good, but yeah, I her name was Patricia. She's excellent, excellent,
Wow.
excellent, excellent psychic and a medium.
Wow.
So
That's
she
amazing.
lives in like East Van or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. An East
yeah,
fan. Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. Hey, man.
So.
I'm sorry. I want to change subjects real quick, just really
Of course.
fast, because during your story, you're like, "Oh yeah, I can do coloring now because my mom's not here." When you
Mhm.
said that, how'd you feel?
Great.
Great.
Great. Yeah. She's gonna be smiling. Yeah. Great.
You know what? I'm starting to see the old James popping up right now.
I am too, actually. I feel like, yeah, that was very good. So yeah, we'll see the next couple of days, because I feel excited right now. I feel enthusiasm, like, this sense of like enthusiastic feelings is coming back to me.
Mm.
So yeah, because
Would
it's
you
not
do
so
me a
much
favor?
like before. I thought
Yeah,
about her, I would be sad, but
yeah.
now I'm just like, yeah, she's gonna be around.
How
So
good does that feel?
fantastic. Very good. Yeah.
You're amazing. Can you do me a favor? Let me know
Yeah,
over the next few days. I want to
I
check
will,
in with
Alan.
you.
Thank you. I really
Of
appreciate
course.
that.
Of
Yeah.
course. Of course. I don't want to see any of my friends in pain. That hurts me.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Thank you.
feel
I really
better.
appreciate that.
100%. 100%. Let's keep in touch, okay? I want to know more
Yeah.
about you soon.
Okay, I
All
will.
right?
I will let you know tomorrow for sure and see how I feel today because today's my day off. So I'm gonna
Amazing.
see if I have sort of energy to go around.
Amazing. Yeah, please let
Okay.
me know. I'm excited to
All
hear
right.
from you. Thank you,
Thanks,
James.
Alan. I really appreciate you.
Anytime, my friend.
Okay.
Anytime. We keep in touch.
Okay.
Bye.